Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SCORE Simple Steps for Starting Your New Business, Session 2. This webinar is being recorded. That means we'll be able to send you the link to it, and you'll be able to watch it over and over again. We'll also send you the PDF of the presentation. We're going to run through everything. If you have any questions, would you take the time to type them into the chat, and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. We'll make sure that we have plenty of time for that. This is a business concept, and our lineup today is Jaspreet Chawan, Ali Nekamanish, and Woody Alexander. And I'm going to turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Jaspreet.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this workshop number 2, business concept. So this is the roadmap how SCORE can help you. So we have those 5 workshops. Today is the second one. So the first one is the startup basics. The second one, business concept. The session number 3 is marketing plan. Session number 4 is financial matters, and 5 is the funding options. So this is it's in the order. So you're learning, from the workshops as you're working on your business model. So this way you can help, this will help you to make go or no go decisions, and then also we do mentoring sessions. That's also on top of that. It's going to give you a better idea, if your business model is feasible or not. Okay, next screen, please. Thank you. So this homework was given from last session, number 1, startup basics. So we have I think there were homework was sent with your PowerPoints. The business idea, that is your feasibility, your assessment worksheet that you're supposed to do. And we'll be talking more on this, next slides. And your vision statements, where you want your business to be in the future. So that's, what about your business? What about your vision statement for your business? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so agenda for today is capture your dream, define a market need, examine your personal background, feasibility plan, and what areas that you should be collecting. You should be researching your industry, target market, your competition, and type of sources, that you can use to, research on all the things that you should as a business owner. Okay, next one. So we all have a dream, how you capture your dream. These people, they all were like us, average people. But today, they are, the giant corporations. There are, the examples for entrepreneurship. So they all had a dream. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Mary Kay, Walt Disney, so there is a, long list. So what is your dream? We all have some kind of things that we need to follow. So if there is no obstacles in your business model, what would you do? Would you achieve your business model if you have no failure? Is that possible? No, I'm sure all these people, they had faced so many failures, right? They had so many failed things, but they never give up. That's one of the strengths, I think, that as a business owner, we should have. Okay, next one. Okay, so the workshop benefits, this is we don't know what we don't know until we learn, right? So the workshops that we offer, it helps you with your feasibility plan. It helps you to make go or no go decisions. And it has a core information that can help for your, to help you to make an official business plan, so which you can take to your bankers, investors. So on top of that, the best thing it does, it gives you directions to get start your business. Okay, next one. So getting your business idea. So this is where we talk more in details. What is your business idea, and how do you make sure that you become a successful business owner? Okay, next one. Okay, So define a market need. So this is where I would turn this to Mr. Ali, and he will talk more about, oh, sorry. So define a market need. So ask yourself, what need does my product or service fill? And what problems does it solve? What are the features and benefits of my product and services? And what about what I have special, what is my competitive advantage that make me different than my competitors? And what is my business model? Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so you examine your personal background. You want to make sure that you have the skills, you have some experience, whatever business you're opening. Let's say if I want to open a food business, if I don't have any experience in food, then maybe it's not something for me. Maybe I need to learn first, right? How risk tolerant am I? Every business has a risk. So we want to make sure that we are, we have lined up problems and we have, solutions to work on these problems. How can I modify my idea to fit my experience? There is a saying that mindset, if you have a mindset, that's 80% solve the problem. The 20%, the skill sets, you can learn, and that's not a problem. If you have a commitment to be successful, nobody can stop you. So you have to have the passion to sell your idea to others. Okay, let's do the next one. So build your plan. So we will talk more on the feasibility plan, but this is like talking, like you have lots of information in your mind, right? But you don't have anything written. So this is where we recommend you to write your information on a piece of paper, 1 page business model canvas. It can help you to connect your dots, have focus on your business. So it can provide you with the information to help you with making decisions, like you should launch your business or maybe you should wait. Maybe it's not the right time yet. So that's what the business plan can help you, and the feasibility plan that we'll discuss on the next slide. So it has the core information. Sorry, go back, last one. Okay. So it has a core information to create a complete business plan for your bankers and investors. So that's what a business plan does. It helps you to get fundings, because anybody who wants to invest your business, they want to see how risky your business is and what kind of, solution you have if there is any problem. Okay. So next one. Okay. So this is one of the homework where you kind of assess, yourself, your products. Your idea feasibility. Is that your product service, what you're doing? Does it make sense to you? What is your market? Who are your buyers? How can you reach them? And what it's going to take you to start your business? It could be, your skills, your education, your experience, or your money, how much you're going to be needing, fundings, right? And who's going to be helping you? And your personal readiness, that is, what you have, what skills, talents you have to start your business, and what goals that you have, and what problems, if there are some challenges, that you're able to tackle them. Okay, so from here I would turn the slides to Mr. Ali, and so he'll be talking more in detail. And thank you everybody for your.
Thank you, Jaspreet. Thank you, Jaspreet. You covered some very important items. I want to congratulate you folks for taking the first step to becoming a business owner and an entrepreneur. SCORE is here to help you to get through that. So let me go to the next slide and discuss, now that you've got to this point of creating your model and the go or no go aspect of whether you want to get into business, let's talk about what it is, some of the elements involved in you gathering the information and things that you're going to need to get your thoughts are organized in terms of your feasibility. Collecting the data, you got to have the critical data that's important to your industry and in your industry in order for you to proceed. You got to know about your industry. You got to know about who the consuming public is, from which demographics they actually come to consume the product, to purchase the products and services that you offer. And then you got to make yourself very familiar with the competitors that are out there in the marketplace. At SCORE, we say competitors are good friends of yours because you learn from them, and competition is a good thing in our economy. And that the more you know about your competitors, the more successful of an entrepreneur you will be. And then also you're going to be looking at the market trends in the particular concept that you are going to create, the particular business that you are going to create. With the market trend, for example, if you're looking at a car wash, you're going to look to see what the water resources are. For example, here in the state of California, whether you're going to have adequate water, you're going to have adequate supply of the water to actually be able to serve your consumers. So where is the market trend going there, and whether you want to be in that business. Next slide, please. So researching your industry, very important. It's going to improve your skill sets in terms of your ability to fully understand the dynamics of your industry. As we talked about growth trends, how fast can a business in your industry expect to grow? You always want to be better than the previous years, previous quarters. So is the trend in your industry going upwards, or it's going backwards and it's going down? The next item, it would be the profitability. This is going to be a tough one because profitability is a net result of many different factors, and the two most important one being your contributions to the business in terms of your time and effort, and the skill sets of the folks that are going to be operating your business. So this one here is going to be a tough one for you to try to determine. Nevertheless, having said that, you can determine the average margins in the industry. Later on, we're going to be talking about that, whether the particular business models and what type of profitability levels they have. The trends, we discussed it, what current and future trends, economic, global, supply chain, how do they affect your particular industry? You want to verse yourself in the trend so that you can make a solid decision in terms of go or no go. And the last one on this one here is the life cycle. What is the life cycle of your business? We're going to discuss that in the next slide. So every business goes through, if you can imagine, for the lack of better words, experiences this slide. Actually, some of us have this particular picture in our offices where we actually are provided the reminders. Every business starts with the startup, as you are going to, and then there is the growth picture, growth graph. That's a very encouraging part of your business segmentation. It's okay, you're at a what's referred to in this slide, rapid growth, but it could be a slow growth, it could be rapid or what have you, but that doesn't matter. What matters here is that it's encouraging you. Your transaction counts are better than the day before, better than the month before, better than the quarter before. There comes a time where your business then has reached its maturity. Very difficult to substantiate that with numbers, but there will become a time where there comes a time where your business maturity level is reached its optimum. That means you're tracking versus the previous quarter and the same quarter to previous year. So that's where you determine whether your business is reached its maturity, if your tracking is the same as the previous quarter comparisons. So the previous quarters, by the way, are always compared to last year, the same quarter. So that's a better way for you to gauge the business and your the growth and the maturity level. And unfortunately, with every business, the graph always has to come down. It's very discouraging where you see your quarter comparisons not tracking, not keeping up. That could be discouraging. However, there is a line, as you see that dotted line, reinvention, where you have to go back and kind of reinvent yourself. Because in the absence of you going back to reinvent yourself, you're going to face the decline of your business in the marketplace, and that could be either a slow decline or a rapid decline. So when you reach the level where you realize you have to reinvent yourself, you have to really take care to address the transaction counts, causes in decline, and to be able to figure out what your next step will be. This model here in of itself is going to create a situation for you in your mindset that as a business owner, you're going to go through this graph. And so when you reach the discouraging side of the graph, you reinvent yourself and you get you back up to the encouraging side of the graph. Next slide, please. And to research your industry, there is numerous ways you can do that. The most viable way of researching your industry is going to your industries association. They have all the numbers, all the figures, the trends. They're glad to share with you. One of the points here at SCORE we want to make with you is the North American Industry Classification, NAICS. That one there, it's the system, is the standard used by the federal statistical agencies in classifying your business establishment, your specific business establishment, for the purposes of collecting, analyzing, and publishing the statistical data relating to the US business economy. So if you go on their website, you will be able to gather an inordinate amount of information about your industry. And then this official US government website provides the latest information and access to the various NAICS reference files and tools. And we recommend very highly that you do that. As a matter of fact, when you go to their website, you will see where, for example, you can look at Starbucks and see where they fit in, what their transactions are. You list yourself as the entity you are in. There is numbers that you are assigned, and then then you can research your particular type of business on that site. The other ones are the RMA for the profitability. We talked about that a little bit in terms of profitability. We want to kind of undernote that you specifically are one of the most important factors in the profitability of your business. Next, please. Next slide. And you also got to do research with your market. This will be also part of your business plan. Who is your consumer base? What type of business you are? The numbers, the number of businesses that are in your community that serve the same kind of product and offer the same type of services. What income level your business appeals to, and whether the type of business and services you offer, the consumers have the ability to pay for those products and services, the demographics in your marketplace, their habits, their purchasing habits, and their lifestyles. So you'll be able to research that and indicate that in your business plan, where at the end is going to actually give you a clear idea what your business is going to look like vis-a-vis the consuming public. Next slide, please. Data to collect and where to get it from. We discussed that. The main source for you would be your type of businesses association, and the data you will get from them and from other sources would be what the demographics of your customer base is, and what patterns and habits they have in terms of their consuming habits. You can get the data through the internet. Nowadays, the internet is your source. You have access to voluminous data, and all the government websites also provide you with the information that you need. I don't want to clutter your mind with the sources, so the only thing I will denote would be the internet, the government websites, and your association. Next slide, please. And so we talked about researching your competitors. This will give you a good understanding about their market strategies, how they go about providing products and services and reaching the customer base, what is their size, and what is hopefully you can get to their sales and transactions, and then try to determine whether you actually are able to compete with that size of a business. And we talked about the data sources. Again, remember the competitors are not your enemies, they are your friends, because they could be the teaching source for you to learn about your customer base. Next slide, please. We've already talked about the competitors. One of the other things that your association research will provide for you is where the supply chain is, and how reliable that supply chain is, and what the trends are with that. And in terms of the legal environment, they could provide you consultations as to your type of business and what preferred entity your type of business has. For example, if you have rental businesses, the associations would probably say, well, you know, most rental businesses go under what's called the LLC format, which is limited liability company. So next slide. And this talks about the research on your competitors. Please go ahead and check that out. I know that my mentor and colleague here, Woody Alexander, is coming on to talk about more numbers, and he's an expert in business planning, and I hope that you pay good attention to him, and good luck with your business venture.
Thank you, Ali. Good morning, everyone. I know what we've covered so far on data and trying to see where you're positioned in your industry and so forth. It may not be the most interesting thing. You probably want to get started. But all I can tell you is you need the background. You need to be the go-to person that has the information, and you need the information to make the right decisions. And when I say the right decisions, it's basically, not basically, it is your money, and you don't want to make too many false steps. That's why we really encourage all this research and being aware of your competition so there aren't false steps. So let's take a look at what some of the information is and where you can get it. First thing is basically census information. It comes from basically, of course, the government. It's available at the library. It's available online. And what you want to do is what your product is. Take a look at what it takes, what's its affordability, what's its price points, are the demographics in the area able to support the type product or service that you're giving. So if you take a look at this chart, it tells you household income up at the top. And let's just say your business needs typically somebody that makes at least $50,000 a year. As you can see, the first couple numbers certainly are under 50,000, but when you get to 50,000, there's 4,385 people in that zip code. 2798 makes somewhere around 75,000, and over 100,000, 2,100. So if you total those, you know, the 43, the 27, you know, you're looking at 70, and you're looking with another 2, roughly 72,000 people that could afford your product. So that would generally be a go decision. But that's the type of information you've got to take a look at and be sure of your footing. Okay, next slide. Okay, RMA. It's harder to get, but you can get it at the library. And what this is Risk Management Associates. And they tell you, or they tell and have available, if you can look at this center part of the slide, it tells you the number of assets, what kind of receivables, what kind of, if you will, non-current assets, in other words, long-term items such as maybe vehicles or heavy equipment, and then liabilities and income data. And what it's showing you is other companies in your same industry. This happens to be nursery and tree production, but you can see by their size how their inventory changes, how their income numbers change. And it's just good to know what the competition is doing, what the quote big boys are doing, what the small. So it sort of gives you a range of activity. In other words, it's a checkpoint you go against. Certainly your mentor can help you with this. It's very good to know the bigs, what they do, the smaller competitors, what they look like, just so you have a good feel for yourself and your industry. Next slide. Okay, there's another group out called the American Community Survey. And again, this is like the Census Bureau. It tells you, if you will, a city or not this case, a zip code. This is a city, a bigger picture. How many people are employed? How many are in the labor force? How many are unemployed? Armed forces, civilian, and the percent unemployed. And then females over 16. And who has their own children under 8 or under 6 years in this case, and children 6 to 17. So again, it gives you a profile and a good look at quote your surrounding area and where to look for, as Ali was saying before, helps get your target market. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, these are the websites. You don't have to write them down because you'll get a copy of this presentation in your email. But these are the actual web addresses or URLs to get the information. The first one, of course, was the census type information from NACS, the American Community Survey that we just looked at, stuff from the Small Business Administration, Bureau of Economic Analysis, Security and Exchange, and I think the one that's going to help you almost more than any of them is the SCORE website, together with the help from your SCORE mentor to go through, because these are a lot of numbers. It's a lot of data, so to speak, but it's all important to point you in the right direction and hopefully keep you from making financial mistakes that hurt your pocketbook. Okay, next slide. Okay, the local library is a great source of information. The librarians are knowledgeable of what's there. Most importantly, the price is right. Generally, there's no charge for them helping you. And they're really more than a research assistant because they point you in the right direction. So you're not wandering around lost or trying to find your way in the maze. So not only do they have tools, but they have certainly reference books and are generally are very helpful. When we did this seminar in person, we would have a librarian come in and talk and explain what they did. But anyway, take it from there, a good resource. Okay, next slide. It says group exercise and data collection, but this is something that you're going to do with your mentor, where you really get down and, figure of speech, peel the skin off the onion, each layer. You get down to your price.
Not me, are you hearing me?
Strategy, product features that you have, and how you put your best foot forward. Your estimate of sales, marketing strategies, and then you'll end up with a plan that starts to be the foundation for your business plan. So it's important, but this is something that we're going to get help with from your mentor. Okay, next slide. So we hope that at least we've opened your eyes and that you take a look and register for next week's session, which is on marketing and marketing services and plans. The week after that is financial management and the money that you need, where you're going to get it, how to anticipate cash flow, seasonality, all that comes into it. And the last one on March 2nd, we'll actually have and help to coach you on funding sources if you're going to need funding for your business. So, okay, next page or slide. Okay, the other one is right here where we've have you starting with the simple steps. If you go to this website, which is a SCORE website, it includes links, handouts, and workshop materials, plus a lot of other stuff. We used to hand it out, and it was a big booklet. Now with COVID and everything, and where we are now, it's online, but it's a great link to use. Okay, next slide. Okay, and I think, Tom, you were going to get in at this point, weren't you?
Yes, sir. We just want to let you know that this is your homework. Finish your concept plan, your business concept feasibility plan. Fill out the worksheets. You're going to get an email. Collect key competitive information and sign up for a mentor. Request a mentor today. It's a very easy thing to do. You have the link for doing that, and we want to walk with you through that process. Well, if you don't have the link on hand, we're going to send it to you again in email. You can go online, score.org, and request a mentor. You can go to centralvalley.score.org. Make sure you get someone local, and then on that page there'll be a box that you can click and request your mentor, and we will walk with you through this process and other things and be with you as you develop your idea. We're waiting now for some questions to come up in our Q&A box. Let me just check. We'd like you to put them in the chat. As you listen today, Ali, to the other presentations, and if you were a first-time student, what would be the question that you would ask Woody or Jaspreet?
The first question I would ask is, who can help me prepare a workable business plan where I can see with clarity what it is I need to do to get my business started?
I think I'll throw that over to Jaspreet.
So, when you are starting a new business and you don't know like what information you have and what you're missing, so there we, when we do the first mentoring session, that's where we listen to you, your business idea. We question you on your business idea, and then we give you homework. So the homework is business model canvas form, and that page has all the aspects as a small business owner that you need to know about your business. It has 9 components. So after you fill in the 9 components, then you will know if your business model is feasible, or it's not. And then we help you with that.
We're your team for that. You can either call us or you can go out and find somebody and pay them $2,000 for the first couple of sessions. Woody, we have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
And that is really the same question. If you were here for the first time and you had an opportunity to ask Ali a question, what would that be?
Well, as an entrepreneur and as a person and as a family man, I want to make sure that I'm going to have enough cash flow and profit from the business that I can have my personal life and family life. And let's just say my income needs to support the family and everything is something like $50,000. And if I need 50,000 just for myself, how can I, if you will, build my business plan or build the economic structure of the company to make sure I get money so I can support my family plus run the business. So need to have a security blanket that I'm going in the right direction.
Right. Angel's question is very practical and good, and there's a very easy answer for it. And yet there's a very difficult question. To apply for an SBA loan, what personal credit score do we need to have? And Angel, one of our mentors will want to answer that for you, but I will say my input is that it depends on how much you're borrowing, for what you're borrowing it, and the SBA has various levels along those lines. They become very accessible in the small micro mini loans, and then for the very large loans, the credit score required goes up. Do you have any insight into that, any of our panelists?
SBA requires a minimum of 650. If you are in the 650 range, if there's any delinquent credit, you may not get the loan. And again, it depends on the collateral. Nobody gives 100% loan, whether you're doing a 7A for a build out or equipment, or a 504 to purchase real estate. They both have different requirements. Work with your local banker that does SBA loans and they can help you with that. But you will have to have some sort of collateral, some skin in the game, we call it, because nobody is doing 100% financing. On the real estate side, you might need 10, 15. On the build out and equipment, you may need up to 30 to 40% equity or collateral.
So one of the things we're preparing you for is for that conversation with your banker or with your CDIF, which is a community development investment foundation. And those are, they handle SBA loans, and we'll take you online and show you the various requirements, like Peter said. And getting you the business plan is absolutely the first step in getting you the loan. You want to knock them off their feet with your well thought out business loans. We have another question that's come up. Oh, that's the same question. Jaspreet, what would you want to know if you were here the first time and you had these distinguished panelists ready to answer your questions?
I want to know like how I can get connected with one of the mentor so I can start analyzing my business plan, and then also the schedule for the workshops so I can listen to the all workshops. And then after the help from the mentor and listening to workshops, and then I should, start, like if it's right business for me or if it's not, if I need to wait or something. I think those are all the analysis as a business person that we need to do, but we need to get some information before we decide.
And so you want to pay attention to the email you're going to get this today with all the links on how to do that. And look at the PDF where we have it embedded, and you will have a direct link to getting a mentor. If you forget all of that, just go to score.org or centralvalley.score.org and do it the hard way. But the easy way is we're sending you the direct link. If Christina was sitting here, she would have already typed that into the chat box. But I'm not as ambidextrous as she is.
The easy way is score.org. We had people come on the call like today, and the SCORE mentor did not reach out to them. We had them type in their zip code, and we had them assigned before the meeting was closed. We get those requests within 5 minutes, and they are assigned to a mentor within 5 minutes.
Oh, Christina is here and she did put the link in the, thank you, Peter. She did put the link in the chat box. So score.org/find-mentor. I should memorize that. I apologize for not memorizing. That was a good question. I believe that's all the questions we have today. I want to thank the panelists. Any closing words from anyone? Oh, there we have a new question. All I have to do is tease it a little bit by threatening to go off. Will the mentor be able to direct the individual to what business methodology would be ideal? We're going to help you discover that. Yeah, that's one of the conversations we have. We're going to start with the assumption that you just don't know that you know, and help you find that. But we'll also give you some direction and show you some of the options and discuss those with you. The answer is yes. Stephen's thanking us for your information. I didn't know I needed it. That's the way it is when I go to workshops. Stephen, absolutely. Don't worry that it's pie in the sky, Rob. Everything seems like pie in the sky when you start it. A person's reach must exceed its grasp. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. Thank you so much, Jaspreet, Ali, Woody, of course, Peter, and Christina.
And Lynn.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
And Lynn and Heather, who have been backing us up in the shadows. We're so thankful for them. They are, if you feel like it, show your faces and smile so they'll know what good mentor possibilities they have. There you go. You can't beat that. All right. If there's no other word, we're going to see you next week for marketing. It gets really fun from now on.